Today, we've got some exciting Rust console news. This Rust console news relates to pretty much everything you could want. We've got a new monument coming into the game. We've got a new gun getting into the game. And in addition to that, we've got a small community servers update. So like always, I'm not going to waste your time. Please hit subscribe. I really do appreciate it. But let's just get into this dev blog. Dev blog number 7. This month's dev blog is full of exciting new information that you don't want to miss out on. And that's 100% true. Summary. So this is basically everything for those of you who just want to hear it and get out. We are preparing for the release of the next content update on the staging branch, and this one has been highly requested by players since we launched the game. There's a big quality of life balancing update making its way to the staging branch tomorrow, July 29th. We'll be adding a new weapon with Oceanbound, the L96. Awesome changes will be made to the target practice servers in the future. I can't wait to share the juicy details with you. So let me start by shedding some light on the upcoming staging update. And they didn't say it here, but I'm going to say it just because I don't want to waste your time again. The new monument being added is the cargo ship. So with that in mind, let's get into it. Oceanbound is making waves, and the first one will hit the shores of the staging branch soon. In preparation for the upcoming content update on the staging branch, we are going to release an update with requested quality of life improvements and balance changes from the community. This update will be released on June 29th. That's like today, I think. To give you a general idea of some of the changes present in this patch, we will add another recycler to Bandit Camp. That's super exciting. Not really. Change the simple handmade site to match the PC version, as well as increase the number of items in the APC loot crate. But there's more, including a fix that will restore the jackhammer to its former glory. So folks, grab those hammers with 2 hands and get to pumping. For now, for us, now is the right time to release an update more focused on improving the experience of the players with some balance changes and quality of life improvements. This update will be the foundation of what's to come in Oceanbound. So for those of you wondering, basically what this means is that on the 29th, we're going to get the staging branch, at least, is going to get a bunch of sort of bug fixes. There's going to be some small changes to Bandit Camp, a little bit of a change to simple handmade site, but overall it's mostly bug fixes, a few loot crate adjustments, things like that. Nothing too exciting here. But what is exciting? The cargo ship is arriving at full speed. Many of you got it right. And by the way, I was one of those people, so if you've been subscribed to this channel for a while, if you've been watching all my videos, you knew this was coming. Yes, the next content update will bring the cargo ship, as well as a new weapon to the Rust console edition that has been highly requested. The update required a little bit of time when compared to others due to the nature of the content we're adding. The cargo ships are moving objects and work more like events instead of fixed monuments. That made the process of porting it a lot more challenging, and we had to spend some extra time optimizing it in order for it to be ready to be tested on the staging branch. Preparations are almost complete, and the Oceanbound update should be released in the middle of July over on the staging branch. So that's right, you heard that right. July, we are going to be getting the cargo ship on at least the staging branch. I have my doubts about how this is going to run on last gen, but for next gen, this is all good news in my opinion. With this content update, we will also bring the L96 rifle to the game as a new weapon. This sniper is extremely deadly, but requires pinpoint precision in order to use efficiently. Or a lot of you are probably going to cheat and use some bullshit. Once the usual tests are complete on the staging branch and we get to polish the content a bit more, we will then announce a release date for the main branch. Right now, our priority is to make sure the cargo ship is functional and that players have a good time when trying to take it over. So basically, they are releasing the cargo ship. It's going to be coming to the staging branch in under a month. But the one thing you've got to remember here is if you're waiting for it on the main branch, that's probably going to take a couple more months. The cargo ship is a moving object. Like they said, it is actually extremely complex to do. I believe that. It's one of their biggest sort of updates they've got as far as the complexity of the update. So you got to give them a few months to get those bug fixes in, especially with last gen, because I think last gen is going to have a little bit more problems with moving objects and things like that, especially when you're talking about standing up in your tower and pissing over the edge and watching the cargo ship go by, because, you know, render distances, things like that, they all need to be worked out. I'm not 100% sure how they decided to do it. It's going to be interesting to see, but yeah, this is a big one and it is a fairly complex one. So fingers crossed this goes good. A new version of the target servers is in the works. So target servers, or target practice servers, that's what I was supposed to say, are on the staging branch right now. They're probably not coming to the main branch. This is a staging branch update only, I believe. Based on the feedback provided by players and due to the popularity of this type of server in the staging branch, we are creating a new version that will improve the experience of the players on target practice servers a lot more. Some of the changes included are the increase on the map size from 1K to 1.5K, giving players more freedom to roam around the map whilst keeping the encounters fairly frequent, an improvement to the spawning points, and new weapons added to your inventory. We still don't have a date in mind for when the changes are going to be implemented, but once we are ready, we will announce it in the staging branch Discord server. So the only thing I really don't like here is they still haven't released these target practice servers to the main version of Rust. They're giving a very clear advantage to people who decide to pay a little bit of extra money and get that staging branch. In my opinion, I don't think that's what the staging branch should be used for. The staging branch is for testing changes. It's for getting people out there testing changes, seeing how things work. It's not for holding your build servers and, like target practice servers behind some sort of paywall, which is essentially what they're doing here. Those servers are ready to go to main. They should do it. They should be paying for this. They shouldn't be hiding behind the fact that they're waiting on community servers, because these aren't just community servers. They're things that the player base needs to improve at the game. Right now, if you want to improve at the game, the best way to do it is to pay extra money, get into those target practice servers, and get into those build servers. And that's not the way it should be, in my opinion. Sorry about that. A little bit of a rant. Anyways, that's just one of the only things I've got to rant about. There might be one more coming. Anyways, new wipe, more fish. That's right. For those of you who are waiting for it, there is a fishing update. Oh my God. The monthly wipe on the main branch happening on the 30th of June will add a new variation of the fishing village to the map, as well as more maps with fishing villages present in them. We want to make this new monument more common due to how useful it can be. If you don't have it yet, be sure to get your kayak blueprint. So basically, the fishing village is going to be more common now. I don't think anyone's really going to use it. I haven't seen many people using it these last, two wipes, however long it's been out, but I guess some people are using it. I'd be interested to know if this is stat-based or just something that they're thinking in their heads. What else are we working on? And this is where they talk about community servers. It's just a little aside. We are currently working on a number of background optimizations which lay the foundation for the team to continue to bring new content to the game at a steady pace, increase performance and stability of future releases, and also pave the way for community servers. More on this in the coming months. That's right, you heard that right. It's going to be months until we get even a community server sort of update or more news on it. So community servers are probably 6 months out, which is ridiculous. We hear you, and we also want to have community servers available as soon as possible, but we want to make sure we provide a good service, and for that, more work is required. I'd say it's a horrible service just because of how delayed it's been, but that's just me. We keep growing stronger. I would like to take a moment to show our appreciation to all of you for all the ongoing support you have been providing. Our community over on Discord just reached 100,000 users recently, and we are closing in on 150,000 over on Twitter. We will keep doing everything we can in order to provide the players with the best possible experience. Thank you for your trust in us. That's all we have to share this month. Thank you for reading through all of it. Hope you are all excited for what's to come of the Rust Console Edition. So folks, there's a big one there. We got 150,000 followers on Twitter, 100,000 followers on Discord. I've got 100 and something followers on Twitter, and my Discord only has 1,000 people. Come on, get in there, folks. Pump those. No, I'm just kidding. But yeah, it's overall, I think this was a lot of good news with a sprinkling of disappointment. The disappointment would be the community servers and the fact that they still really don't seem to have plans to move those build and target practice servers over to main. I think those are two very big sticking points, but there's a lot of exciting news here too. See, it's exciting that they're going to be adding the L96. That gives roof campers a whole another opportunity to use a different gun, I guess. And in addition to that, the cargo ship actually is a really exciting thing to see. I think the cargo ship's going to be a new monument. It's going to bring some new life to it. Those of you who are complaining about oil getting countered anytime you run it, this gives you one more option. And the cargo ship's moving, so it makes it a little bit more interesting to cargo. There's a few more dynamics to it. It's exciting, but the one thing I do dislike about this is a lot of these updates are going to end up playing into clans rather than solo players, because the cargo ship, the oil rig, all of that is stuff that's typically very hard for a solo player to run, not just because of the scientists, those you can deal with, but because when you're countered, it can be an extremely difficult experience to deal with. I personally have a lot of trouble with that. That's one of the reasons you don't see me running oil rig too much. I always get countered, and a lot of the time I lose those counters just because it's 1-on-4. And I can't do it. Every now and then I might get lucky and you might see a clip like that, but most of the time it's just me getting destroyed. And yeah, that's all we've got for today. Thank you so much for watching. I appreciate it. Until next time, peace.